Hello, gentle friends! Welcome. If you are stumbling by for some reason, I hope the people have an idea what this game is. I guess. Well, this is Magic the Gathering Arena, the newest incarnation of online Magic play. If anyone who is watching who doesn't know how to play Magic, please do stay, and I'll go into more detail. But what we're going to be doing right now is going into draft something called Dominaria. Do we have any sound on this thing? Ah, Hunter, you've never heard of it. Well, in that case, and Rozaj, how's it going? Piers, what's a land? Well, apparently, there's a lot of folks who need explaining what Magic the Gathering is. Let me just check this is there any sound coming out of Magic the Gathering at all? Let's just check I haven't muted it for some reason. It seems to be okay. Options, audio. Alright, let's make sure it's playing audio when it's minimized. Right, there we go. Alright, let's turn the music down a little bit. So, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting virtual packs. Ooh, creepy hands. Yes, we should have the special effects or audio back now. I realised I turned it down. So we'll be getting a series of randomized packs of cards. From these packs of cards we must determine which are the best cards. Ooh, that green screening is not working very well, but let's just go with it. And I hope that all of you fine people will help me choose which one is the best. So let's get into it. So I've not done any research on this particular set which is called Dominaria. But I seem to remember doing alright with it before, so what's the worst that can happen, right? Alright, so, there's a little bit of context here. So here are the 3 packs we'll be opening. Is Deckmaster working, Piers? I hope so. Let me just check on my channel. It's showing the extension. I guess we'll know for certain once we get into the game itself. Man, my filters aren't so good, but I might need to adjust those again. Alright, but yes, so we've got these 3 packs. I am running the program. We'll see, I guess, once we get into the game itself. So these are the 3 packs we'll get to use. For each win, I'll get more stuff, increasing the rewards. We pay 5,000 in-game currency to get into this, or 750 of the premium currency. But what we get for winning is premium currency the whole way through. Ideally, there's a draft mode on. Let's put draft. Let's see. Interesting. Okay, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully everything's working. But yeah, basically the more games we win, the better. So let's give it a try. So we pay our monies and we get in here. So we'll get a lot of these screens, which are basically just the... Let's see. Okay, yeah, it looks like it's working. Yes. So we'll get a bunch of different cards to choose from, and our job here is to determine which of these many options we have is the best one for our pile of cards. So let's start from the least exciting all the way towards what should theoretically be the most exciting. So how the Aether Glider? Gosh, that's a weird name. A 2-1 which costs 3 mana. So if any of you guys have played Hearthstone before, if you haven't played Magic, it's a very similar idea. So Aether Glider, you pay 3 mana, you get a creature that can fly, can't block, but is colour. Rosage thinks I should slam the Saga. Well, we'll quickly run through the other ones. So this is a little creature, it's not so exciting. We've got something that gives us more land, which is okay. We've got an Ooze, which kills equipment and weapons, which is alright. A basic creature, 4 mana, 4/4 stuff. Oh yes, Aether comes up in Magic. Aether? Do you think maybe that was just a typo? Or, I don't know. So we've got something that does damage to a player and 1 damage to each creature that controls. Pretty good against someone who makes a lot of utility creatures or weenies, but not super generally effective. This guy, good at getting control of stuff, or can just be a standard 3/1 with haste. Let's see. Journey Mage, if you control another wizard, deal 2 damage to each opponent. Probably not good enough by itself to really warrant looking at this. The Rosage, you got a booster box of Guilds of Ravnica for your birthday. Sweet! Wait, Rosage, I'm gonna sound like a complete jerk for this, but I've actually forgotten which real person lies behind the Rosage name, because I'm sure you're talking like we must have talked before, so I'm gonna be a real jerk for not remembering who you are. But could you help me out and just let me know who you are in real life? Let's see. So anyway, Cabal Paladin. So cast a historic spell, deal 2 damage, which is okay. 4 mana for a 4/2 with a effect that might do something eventually. Is alright. Something that lets us get instants or sorceries more easily, which is okay. Lets us poop out 2/2 tokens. Alright. An indestructible wall. Oh, it's Rory, of course, Rory. Ah, well, Rory. You are in the same chat as Piers, so you are 2 groups of friends that I have not been able to kind of get to intersect with each other, but you are both big into Magic, so I'm sure you'll both get along. So Piers and Rosage over on Twitch, please. I'm sure you guys will get along famously. And at some point, we've got to try and get you guys in the same place to play Magic, because yeah, there's 2 different groups of Magic players I know now who aren't playing Magic with each other, which is crazy. So we have a Orcish Vandal. 1/1 lets us toss artifacts at people, which is alright. And then the 2 cards we've been waiting for this whole time. The Saga, so kills a creature of their choice for a Planeswalker, which is probably their worst creature. Then discards a card, and then gets back one of their things from the graveyard to the battlefield. That seems very, very good. We also have a 6 cost for Lifelinker, who means that we, as long as we hold on to Ever a Halcyon Witness, we can't die. Man, that's a tough call, because yes, the Eldest Reborn, I mean, certainly these 2 cards are the cards to look at. So Eldest Reborn seems like it's always going to be pretty solid, with some circumstances where it's going to be amazing. Let's see. So let's read of so who just hits them for 10? I feel like I'm missing something there. Hunter. I used to be a Yu-Gi-Oh player, so that is not uncultured in the slightest. There's a lot more that separates a lot more that's similar between the 2 games than is different. Wait, so you activate her ability immediately before damage, then gain back all the life in the form of her massive damage. Wait, what massive damage are you talking about, Piers? I feel like oh, right. I did not understand this card correctly. So, okay. So what Piers is saying is that it's not that she can change her power to be equal to your life total, which is what I thought it was. It's that you literally exchange them. So, yes, as Piers is saying, if you're at 20 life, which is your starting life, then she becomes 20/4, so 20 power. Hunter, now that I know what your realm of reference is, that means I can cater things towards being kind of giving you Yu-Gi-Oh examples. It's been quite a while since I played Yu-Gi-Oh, so I'm going to have to look up what a Yu-Gi-Oh card's layout is. Because it's as weird as it is. Okay, so in the same thing between Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic, so we've got attack and defense in Yu-Gi-Oh. That's basically the same thing with Magic, except you just add some more zeros on. So this is not really necessarily equivalent to a 4,000 attack, 4,000 defense, but maybe. As in, it's a lot. It's bigger than most things. Okay, Piers, that sounds interesting. Let's see, what have people voted on as far as the things? It looks like the only vote has been for Ezra. So, Rory, if you're still around, if you can actually choose by, if you're over on the Twitch page, which I recommend you guys do head across to. That's twitch.tv/counterfeitstream, which is probably the best way to watch this, because you get to vote on each pick that we're going to take by literally just clicking on them on the stream itself. I like the everything. I think it sounds pretty fun. Oh well, Hunter, if you've barely played any Yu-Gi-Oh, then at least it's less things to be confused by. I think I'll go for the everything because it just sounds fun. So it pushes us pretty heavily towards white, which oftentimes tends to not actually happen, because, for example, in this pack, what have we got going? So from the bottom we have Guardian of Coelius, which is good if I've got a saga. If I had picked up that last saga, it would become suddenly a lot more appealing. The Skittering Surveyor, which is pretty nice. It gets us a land card and a tiny body. That's okay. And we probably will be able to play it whatever deck we end up in. We have... yes. Yes, we will definitely get to the Courser in a bit, because that is a very good card. So we've got a generic green creature which likes punching stuff, but isn't very strong on the defense. So, Hunter, I don't know how much you remember of Yu-Gi-Oh, but how does Yu-Gi-Oh fighting work, man? No, it's alright, Piers. We'll just kind of go through each thing as we go. So in Yu-Gi-Oh, you just compare the numbers, don't you? So that's pretty similar here, honestly. The only real difference I think between this and Yu-Gi-Oh fighting is that in Yu-Gi-Oh damage doesn't persist, so either something kills something or it doesn't. You don't tend to, like, your health doesn't deteriorate over a turn, whereas in Magic, until the end of your turn, any damage stays there, so you can kind of combo cards together to kill stuff. Whereas this guy's got a very small defensive values of only 2, so he's relatively easy to kill. We've seen this one before. Feral Abomination, a 5/5 Death Touch for 6 mana, it's pretty decent. Death Bloom Valid, a guy who makes another guy, solid. Demonic Vigor, an enchantment, which lets us make one of our creatures come back to life. Solid. We need to have some good creatures for that to be worthwhile, though. Seen this one before. Pegasus Courser, as Pierce was saying, extremely good card, because it lets us, it not only flies, which means it can't be blocked by anything that doesn't have flying or reach as a keyword. So, for instance, this guy has flying, so he can block other flyers, but none of the other stuff in this pack has got flying or reach, which is to give you an indication of how common it is. So, most of the time, this guy can't be blocked, but also can help somebody else become unblockable. And because we've got a very strong creature which potentially attacks for a bajillion damage, then that seems like a very good combination. But let's look at some of the other stuff we've got as well, even though this seems like it's going to be the best choice. We've got something that makes one of our creatures stronger, and makes them into knights as well, which is nice. I don't know if they're going to be that relevant that they become knights, but it's a good enchantment. Wild Onslaught puts 1/1 counters on creatures you control, or more 1/1 counters. So that's pretty decent. Something that lets us make our saplings or funguses stronger. He's a fungus, so it doesn't make himself stronger, but if we picked up a bunch of them, and there are a bunch of fungus kind of creatures in this pack, and this lets us draw cards, which is, say, if we didn't have this one here, I'd be very tempted to go towards the, like one of these black fungus guys, because I don't think anyone would take this guy unless they had other funguses, but let's see. So what does Piers like? He likes Onslaught, which yeah, I think is good. Spore, Crown, and Surveyor. Yeah, I think as I said right back ages ago, Surveyor will almost certainly could end up playing it anyway. Okay, Spore Crown goes early and gets drafted around. I guess that makes sense, because there is quite a lot of stuff that enables it. And I suppose these particular cards aren't necessarily massive priorities, but we're going to go for Pegasus Corsa, but just remember that there's a lot of good stuff going around. Alright, so what have we got here? Another Skittering Surveyor. Good stuff, good stuff. The Gaia's Protectors again. Ancient Animus. Let's see, put a +1/+1 on target creature, but it has to be legendary. Well, we do have a legendary creature. And it fights a target creature an opponent controls. That would be a nice combo. Hey, Score JEC. Are you a Magic the Gathering player? At the moment, I'm also explaining things to Hunter. So, if you need any extra explanation, please do ask. Or if you want to head across to twitch.tv/counterhitstream, just as Hunter has done, I'll post the link again. Then there's some guys in there who are experts at Magic, who can explain anything alongside what I'll be explaining on the stream as well. So we're picking up draft picks, so we're trying to make a deck out of random cards. So Piers is of the opinion that he's in preference for the Skittering Surveyor because it's colourless and it can fit into pretty much any deck. There isn't a huge amount of other stuff here that's great, is there? So we know this one's okay. This is alright. It would make a nice combo, but it's a bit gimmicky. And it doesn't do anything. Well, actually, no, that's not true. So it's better if we play it with a legendary creature, but it is a 2-cost instant lets our creatures fight their creatures. So, yeah. Because a lot of Magic cards are a little bit hard to read sometimes. So I believe, and hopefully Piers will correct me if I'm wrong with this, that it puts a 1/1. Score JC. Wait, how did I say the first time? I can't remember. But I'm glad you enjoy it. So I believe Ancient Animus works on any creature, but if it happens to be a legendary creature of mine, then it gets a +1/+1, which is decent. Piers saying it's primarily just weak removal spell with occasional upside. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. We need to have a good creature, and there's a lot of stuff which can mess with this. Like if they debuff or make our creature weaker, then this can go very poorly. Seismic Shift, destroy target land, blah. This guy again. So if we're building up around mages, then it'd be okay. So this guy mills us for 3 cards and gains 3 life. It's quite expensive for what it is there. Hey there, Hunter. Oh, Hunter's on double platforms. What a monster. Divest. Gets rid of an artifact or a creature card for that person's hand. It's okay. This guy again pretty decent. Enchantment that makes a cat go crazy. This one's a bit more interesting. So if we're into the kicker stuff, which is... Kicker is a mechanic that if you play a card, it usually costs X amount of mana. For Kicker is that you can either play it as a standard card, so say you pay 2 mana, you get a 2/2 creature. Oh, it's Yek. Oh, I think I said Jack, maybe? I will score Yek. I will do my best to remember. But yes, so the Kicker thing is, so you get a basic card, but you can also, I don't think we've got anything which has got Kicker on it, but when you've got a card, you can play an extra cost to get an extra effect. So it means it's good in the early going, where you can just play it out without the Kicker, and get your basic creature. But it's also good later on, because a lot of times when you draw your early game stuff later, you're like, bleh. But Kicker means that you get some sort of extra effect out of it. So, say it becomes stronger, or it does some damage or something. But this guy here means that if we have a lot of those cards, then we get a sort of a bonus effect every time we use the whole Kicker thing, which is pretty decent. Nature's Spiral gets us back something from our graveyard to our hand. That's pretty decent. So score Yek. Okay, yeah, it's like I've got a friend called Jesper, so that's all I'll remember to pronounce it that way. And Lingering Phantom. It comes back to our hand every time we play a historic spell for... It's pretty cheap. But yeah, I think I don't know what you guys think. Has anyone voted on the... Okay, so... can I tell how many people did that? Drafting... okay, so yes, we got the vote for Skittering Surveyor, and I think that's reasonable. So this is going to make it easier for us to get land, and yeah, the flexibility to go into other colours as well, so I like it. Alright, what have we got? So we've got a 5/5 trample colourless guy. That's okay. Got back the Ancient Animus. Oh man, if we'd been going for the Journey Mages, we would have gotten... Hunter, if you want to vote, you go vote. Just vote for whichever one you like of. Oh, interesting. Yeah, no, Hunter, I'd just go for whichever one you like the most. Let's see, so we could have had 3 Journey Mages at this point, so that could have been a cool deck. Oh well, never mind. So we know about this guy, which is a cat warrior. How is that a cat? Oh, it's a cat riding a bat? I don't know. But it's okay. I quite like this one. Okay, so here we go. Here's an instance of a kicker. So you can either pay 1 black and 1, which is in the top right hand corner of the cost of the card, to play it as a 1/3, or you can pay the kicker cost. So that's not just 3 and a black, so a total of 4 mana, including 1 black, but it's on top of the existing cost. So it would be a total of 2 black and 4, so pretty darn expensive. So 6 mana. But if you do that, not only do you get the creature, but you also get its kicker effect, which is to cause them to discard 2 cards, which is pretty reasonable, but I don't think it's probably going to come up an awful lot of the time, especially because that combination of things, if it comes up at the right time, can be really good. But really late into the game, a lot of the time the opponent doesn't even have anything in their hands. If they do, they'll tend to be really good things, in which case this is amazing. But if they don't, and they played all the good stuff to the field, then you're gonna, you know, just get dumpstered. So anyway, we have got a turtle, and who doesn't enjoy turtles? Especially turtles that apparently eat seagulls. Cost 6 mana, gets us a hexproof 4/5, which is very, very strong, because hexproof means it can't be targeted by spells or abilities on opponent's control. So if we enhance this with some sort of enchantment, it can be very, very strong, especially the flying cat enchantment from before. But we're probably not going down that route to start with, at least. A 3 cost 2/3 wizard with definitely a real person's face. But doesn't really do anything. We've got a birdie bird who gives us a scry, which lets us look at the top card of our deck and choose if we want it or not. Every time we cast a historic spell, which we currently have got 2 of, so that's not terrible. So we've got Grun the Lonely King. This is where we're starting to get to the more interesting stuff. So another example of kicker. So this guy costs 6 mana, and if we pay, let's see, so 9 mana, I don't know why that took me that long, they become a 10/10 instead. And if they attack alone, they double the power and toughness. So that's pretty good. Very, very expensive though. I should have been paying a bit more attention to what was being coming in the draft to tell what's more viable. But, I mean, that's alright, but it does mean we get another very expensive creature. So I'm not necessarily okay with this. Let's see. So, we've got a Merfolk. So, when he enters in the battlefield, and he can enter in at any time, normally you can only play during your main phases, but Flash means you can play this guy whenever we want, which is pretty good, because he's got an effect that lets us knock something of our own that's historic, which is this guy, or this guy, out of play, and then it comes back to our control. So that's good for a couple of things. If they're going to try and kill our Halcyon Witness, we just bounce it out of play. If they're going to, well, we can just use, if all else fails, we can just use up the Skittering Surveyor. So Hunter and Yek, if you guys don't play Magic, you kind of get, so the main phase is a part of a turn. So in really simplified terms, you kind of, the turn is laid out thusly, and I'm going to almost certainly get this wrong. So let me get the Magic turn order up to make sure I don't mess this up. So you have, this is kind of the simplified version. So you start your turn, you untap everything. So that's a mechanic for specifically for Magic and a few other games, where anything that you've used up is tapped, and untapping it is the first thing you do in your turn, so you bring it back up to usefulness. Then you've got your upkeep step, which is some stuff happens in there, but it's not a specific phase that you do stuff in yourself. Then you draw. You draw 1 card a turn. Then you have your main phase, where you can play creatures, you can play sorceries, you can kind of play whatever you like in your main phases. But then you go to combat phase, and at that point you can't play creatures anymore unless they've got flash, like this fella does here. And you can't play sorceries, which are kind of slower magic. You can only use instants. Or anything that's got flash, basically. So Piers likes Grun plus Corsa. Yeah, I think that's definitely a very good win condition, which is just putting a very strong creature into the air to be flown over. The Pegasus Corsa presumably carries everyone on their back, so that's a quite impressive feat for a giant gorilla. And last of all, Haphazard Bombardment. This is quite a fun card. So choose 4 non-enchantment permanents you don't control and put an aim counter on each of them. At the beginning of your end step, if 2 or more permanents you don't control have an aim counter on them, destroy one of those permanents at random. Oh yes, so I think Piers, we realised this at the same time. So Grun the Lonely King only gets the doubling of attack if he's attacking alone, and Pegasus Corsa only gets its effect when it attacks with somebody else. So I'm thinking that maybe that's not the right one to go for just because of the anti-synergy there. I'm thinking maybe the Sentinel of the Pearl Trident feels like it's a pretty solid choice for us. I don't know, guys, what do you think? I can't really remember what everything is, but I like that this has the ability to bounce one of our things in and out of play, which is good for Skittering Surveyor, and it's good for Ever a Halcyon Witness, just to save them from being blown up by something. But let's see. Oh boy, everyone wants the cold water snapper. Hunter, I guess that was probably your vote. Oh no, apparently Piers thinks that the interesting. Apparently the turtle is really unfair. Okay. I mean, I can imagine this wheeling just because it's not exactly the most appealing of creatures. Okay. Why is the turtle so unfair, Piers? Big hurts through stuff for soul crushing. Well, we love crushing souls. Let's give it a try. Alright, what have we got here? We could have another turtle. Who doesn't love more turtles? Let's see. So we could short sword, which is okay. We've got ourselves a big old worm, which for some reason doesn't have trample. This guy again. This one again. Eh. Blue-white is a historic deck. Okay. Well, I'm thinking that we probably want to go for another turtle here if that's going to be a thing that we're doing. Just because none of the other stuff is that great. Okay. Historic and flyers, huh? So you're saying that you think that the Amaranthine Wall could be a good pickup? Well... I could definitely see more snappers coming around, given that we've just seen 2, and I don't suppose they're very high priority. So, Piers, you reckon that the Amaranthine Wall would be a good choice? I definitely see the turtles coming back later on as a sort of pickup, because like in this pack, it's not, there's much of a muchness between them. You just take the snapper? Alright, let's go with your instincts on this one. Well, I turned out I was more or less right about us getting enough snappers. Oh, they don't wheel. Okay, fair enough. So let's see, what have we got going on here? So we've got a 6/5/5. We've got so a couple of artifacts. If apparently this is historic. Historic, it covers certain kinds of cards, so legendary and artifacts and sagas. So, I mean, do we take another Cold Water Snapper? That seems a little wonky. I guess we could take another big card that just punches things. What does this one do? Gets enchantments back from our graveyard. We don't have any enchantment. Alright, let's go for the snapper. What else have we got going on? Ooh, hello. So this is suddenly starting to seem a lot more appealing then. So so this would have the effect of bringing back our Skittering Surveyor and potentially Evra, though I don't think we really want to be doing that. But it is a historic thing in of itself, and apparently that's good. Otherwise, I'm not sure there's a huge amount in the pack that we want. So we've got more of the Giant Worm guy, an enchantment, but we don't have red. I guess we could. Yeah, invoke main deck. Yeah, I think I'm always certainly going to see invoke the divine again. So, what's on my Enrique the player? What's on my face? I don't know. What is on my face? I think I might just have a spot today. Well, there we go. Well, that doesn't actually do anything for us. So we could get an Invoke the Divine here. I think that seems reasonable. So we've got another guy with Kicker to gain life, which is pretty decent. It's got a decent stat line, and if we draw him later on, it isn't useless. More of the fighty stuff, more of the red stuff. Now we could have a crazy large wizard deck at this point. But yeah, I mean, this one doesn't really do a huge amount for us. I mean, it knocks off a tenth of someone's deck. But yeah, I like the idea of Invoke the Divine, so it lets us take out artifacts or enchantments. And yeah, I think we'll be getting a fair chunk of them. Let's see. So we've seen loads of this Arcanist guy, which is... Yeah, no, you're right. The Invoke would have been another viable option. I wasn't sure if the 3/3 crab that chews on people's decks was really worth having or not. Let me just check if there's anything. You might not have instant sorcery. Alright, let's try out the Amaranthine Wall. It seems kind of fun. Oh, here we go. This is what we were looking for. So, dub. So this is going to make one of our cold water snappers much better, and the rest of the stuff is not super relevant. So I'm into it. Let's see. Oh, an enchantment? I like it. Boink. And hey, there we go. Oh man, this is kind of a bit of a tough call. So we can either get a thing that lets us scry all the time, because we're going to be playing a lot of historic spells, or we could get the Sentinel, which lets us bounce something in and out of play, which is much more relevant, I think, if we have Sagas, and I hope we'll pick up Sagas. Okay, yes, apparently Arcane Flight plus Snapper. Yeah, I mean, that seems pretty gross, because, well, as soon as this guy's flying, you know, you're not going to be able to stop them. And also, I love this picture, it's pretty amazing. Oh, I see, I'm looking at the stream. What it is the, I've got some, sort of, colour reduction stuff going on, which may be why I end up with weird sort of black bits on my face, which hasn't really happened before. So let's see. So where are we with curve? So we've got not very much at the bottom end, and then we've got quite a lot at the top end. So, I mean, I'm okay with... Yeah, I would think I probably... You're right, it's going to be a little bird told me. Okay, let's go for this one. And... Alright, well, we're going to get rewarded for being in white, I guess. Ah, okay, apparently scrying is extremely good. Well, there you go. Hey, big gorilla chat, how's it going? I don't know how much you know about magic, but we have just gotten into our second pack's worth of stuff. So this guy is extremely nice because it means that we get rewarded for playing basically all of our historic stuff by getting back all of our 3 converted mana costs or less. So that's the total cost of a card, so you can see in the top right, 2 and 1, so 3. So this will get us back any cheap creatures. So yeah, I mean that's absurdly good for us. But let's have a look. So that makes us harder to attack. It's pretty decent. I don't know if we'll... Well, I'm certain we won't see that again, but never mind. So what else we got? We've got this lady makes it easiest for us to cast kicked spells. So that's very good. That's a land that lets us get a creature back. Pretty darn strong. Invoke the Divine, we've looked at before. That is pretty reasonable. Yeah, I think Baird might wield just if someone is not playing white. Because it's double white, I think it's less appealing than this would be. Call the Cavalry, we've seen already. Deep Freeze, extremely strong. We'll probably be picking up if we see any of them again. Blessing is okay. Lifelink +2/+1. Vicious Offering is very, very good. It takes care of most stuff. Feral Abomination, we've got all of them already. Solid card. Artifact or Enchantment, which basically does the same thing as Invoke the Divine, except we play a land rather than getting full life. A small buff and reach. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be these things. Let's see. So, apart from this, we've got green and white in the pack. And we've got some black. Deep Freeze, I guess. Alright, but yes. So we now know we need to pick up small creatures to enable this one. And... oh, well, that is a small creature. That we may have... oh, man. I really wish this one was a little bit cheaper. Because then we could just play it over and over again. Possibly that's why. So, we've got some actual decisions to make here. So let's go from the bottom. We've got someone who I think is actually supposed to work with our deck, which is untapping artifacts. We've got a dude who makes mana, which is alright. We've got one that makes land. We've got some red cards which we're probably going to ignore for the time being because they're not that powerful. So Academy Journey Mage is pretty decent. It has a creature and lets us bounce stuff. A lot better if we have the other wizards, which we don't really have. Oh yeah, no, you're right, Piers. I completely missed the Llanowar Envoy. Actually, in fact, doesn't give you mana. It actually takes mana away. But it's not a one-off effect, so that does give you a bit of flexibility, I suppose. Interesting. No, I kind of like, I assumed it was the other stuff. So let's keep going. So, blah. Very good. Disciple. Oh boy. Yeah, Disciple is ridiculous for our deck. So, flying a first strike. So, if we put this in Yu-Gi-Oh terms, the first strike is extremely powerful because when your creatures fight, if your creature is strong enough to kill their creature, then their creature just dies without getting a chance to hit your one back. So that's very, very good. And also it's cheap, which lets us get it back with this. If it does die, and also if we play any of our other cards in the deck, it goes up to being a 2/2. That seems absurdly good. This thing is sort of semi-useful, but being able to put cards from their deck to their graveyard isn't that important of an effect until it kills them. Yeah, that's true. Or as an equipment. So yes, the Sarah's Disciple could get equipped with some of our... we've got 2 enchantments at the moment, which makes creatures stronger, and that's a very good option to put it on there. So let's grab that. Alright, so what have we got again? We've got more Cold Water Snappers. Piers, I told you. We see a lot of Cold Water Snappers. So this one, which doesn't really do anything. A big old spider with reach. So there you go, can block a creature with flying. Also, I love that Arena actually tells you what everything does, so, because I always forget. We've got something that kills stuff with flying, or nearly everything with flying. That's at instant speed. We've got a red guy who discards and draws, which is okay. A kicker, which goes from being a 1-1 for menace to a 3-3 for 4 with menace. Yes, Cold Water Snapper concedes. So I don't think we probably want another one of these guys. So, target creature or enchantment. That seems pretty strong. But Sarah Disciple, like, just seems so absurd that... I mean, I can almost feel like we could probably let the Sarah Disciple wheel just because it's quite specific as to what deck wants to use it. And we're kind of already picked up a lot of that deck. But, oh man. Yeah, that's what I think we're thinking along the same lines, that just be able to kill anything is extremely good. I think what it is the art for this doesn't look that impressive, and that's why I think I didn't quite got it through, but that is extremely good. And also at instant speed as well, so again we mentioned the whole like main phase, combat phase thing. So if it's a sorcery, which most removal stuff is, then it's like, you know, if something goes wrong in the combat, then it's, you know, you can just use this as a get out of jail free card. Whereas, if it's a sorcery, you're out of luck. But yes. Okay, yeah, appears you have the same issue. It just looks, the art makes it look like, this. It's a very similar piece of art to this. And I've learned not to really look at this. So I think that's what it is. So Healing Grace. So it gives us some life and prevents some damage. Pretty okay. Oh, that's right, I've even forgot it was Exile. Yes, so the mechanic in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is removed from play, so you can either kill something, which you just do by standard means, by fighting or by blowing it up, but Exile is to put it out of play entirely, and unlike Yu-Gi-Oh! Which eventually started using its Exile Zone as a secondary graveyard, in Magic I don't believe there's many things that interact with the Exile Zone in that kind of way, as in using it as a resource. There are some cards that kind of use it temporarily in that way, but I don't believe there are any cards that just let you say, this card's in exile, I'll have it back. So that's a kind of okay. That if we have a lot of creatures, it makes them a bit strong, which is alright. Howling Golem, it is probably something that is sort of semi-good for us. And so this Dean of Iteration, this guy's absurd with the other wizard when it comes into play, bounces someone else, because you get this Dean out first, and then when you play your other stuff, then you just bounce all of those things. Yeah, there is one creature that can be cast with Exile, which is a red creature which can be cast from anywhere. But yes, not really for our deck, so I think Blessed Light makes sense. We might see Sarah Disciple, but I'm not going to be devastated if we don't. I'm much more happy to get this thing that just kills anything. Oh look! Another Cold Water Snapper! What's that, Piers? There aren't very many of them. I mean, this is pick 4, so we've seen like 6 or 7 of them. Yeah, they are not high prioritized by the AI for sure. So what have we got? We've got a weak construct that gives a +1/+1 when it dies, which is alright. And also it's cheap, which is nice for this guy. Yes, I guess it does mean that it means that other people aren't taking blue. So I don't know if any of you guys haven't done drafty stuff before. You can kind of tell what other people aren't taking by the stuff that you see. So if you see lots of red stuff, yeah, though I think particularly it's a Cloud Reader Sphinx, which we'll just jump ahead to, which is very, very highly valued card, which lets us look at the top 2 cards of our deck and decide if we want them or not, which is a very good effect. And also has flying, and also has a very big body, because we mentioned before that certain kinds of creatures are, if you're flying, which means other things can't block you unless they've got flying or reach, having a bigger body, so higher stats, gets more and more expensive as you go up, because you kind of have to have something that can block that. And you're going to have a given deck will have a lot more creatures that can block on the ground than in the air. Yeah, Sphinx is very close to drawing a card when you play it. Yeah, because you just... If you see 2 lands in your next 2 and you don't need them, I think we're going to be going for that. Let's look at the other ones. So we've got Invoke the Divine, which is probably not going to be worthwhile as a 2. This gives us more stuff for legendary creatures, which is not really going to be worthwhile. This is very nice, and I hope we get this back, which lets us turn one of our lands into a draw cards. And Goblin Warchief doesn't do anything for us, so let's have a Sphinx. Alright. So what have we got? Remember this one? A standard red creature, blowing up land, the wizard deck. Cabal Paladin, remember from before, Soul Salvage. So Journey Mage, so, oh man, I wish it was a bit cheaper. But, I mean, we don't have any wizards, do we? No. Not at all. So I need to get something cheap. Yeah. Let's see. Do I have more than one legendary creature? I've got 1. Oh, 2. Yeah, okay. You're right. This is probably alright. Ooh, I like Deep Freeze here. So Deep Freeze lets us kill basically any of their creatures. But let's look at the other stuff. So this lets us gain mana, which is okay. This lets us change our land around, which is alright. This doesn't do anything, this doesn't do anything, this doesn't do anything. This lets us counter non-creature spells and gets land. The current song is Paul Flint and Phil Lee's Girlfriend. You can find all these on NCS if you search them up on YouTube. But yeah, that's a target. I mean, I really like Deep Freeze here, like because it turns one of their creatures into a creature that doesn't do anything, which I think is pretty strong. And I guess we don't know if we're going to end up playing the Tragic Poet, but that does get that one back. We could potentially play Diligent Excavator as a thing that lets us block a little bit, but I think Deep Freeze, just being able to kill nearly anything, seems absurdly stronger. But I don't know, what do you guys think? I'm definitely leaning pretty hard towards Deep Freeze, but I think the argument could be made. I mean, I feel like Unwind is maybe... it's tough because it could be very good. I'm not sure in our deck, we haven't got a lot of instants which let us play. Yeah, I was thinking that Unwind might not have a target either. But that's right, yes, I forgot that the sagas are considered to be enchantments. So, I'm thinking Deep Freeze. I don't know about any of you guys who've got any particular opinions on it, but yeah, I think I'm going to go for it. Let's see. That looks kind of fun. Let's go for this. So, it's an artifact, Blood Tallow Candle, that eventually lets us kill something. Doesn't do anything for quite a while, but it's okay. Blah, blah. We've already got one. Yeah, so I think if we can pick up a Saga, we definitely want to. So Sagas are special enchantments that do stuff over multiple turns. We could have picked one up immediately, but I think we've kind of gone the right way. So, let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure that's particularly relevant. So Blood Flame, definitely not. Precognition field. Is this remotely worthwhile? Like, I feel like that might be semi-useful. So, precognition field would let us look at the top card of our library. You're liking the candle? I think it does have much more use in this deck than it would have anywhere else, for sure. Yeah, for instances and sorceries. So this thing only works with instances and sorceries. We're mostly about enchantments, and I think we've got, what, 1 instant? 2 instants. Like 2 instants, yeah, we're not taking that. Alright, let's go for the Blood Tile Candle. So we've got a chance to either go for a instant here, which is giving something indestructible and +2/+2, or rescue, putting something back in our hand. I'm thinking maybe Adamant Will could work quite well with our various different stuff here, as a kind of like a, it has the utility of potentially, saving us from being damaged to death, and it also lets us win fights. Yeah, I mean, I think Rescue has... If we had a Saga, I would be much more inclined to get Rescue just so I could start bouncing stuff in and out of play, but at the moment, we don't have an enormous amount of stuff we want to bounce in and out of play. Like this guy, I guess. This one. Yeah. Okay, let's go for Adamant Will. Yeah, as Piers is saying on Twitch, we don't have the enter the battlefield effects we really want. Alright, so what have we got here? Nothing we can actually play, so is there anything we actually want? I think Memorial to Folly probably is the way to go here if we're just taking stuff for our collection, because this lets us, it's a land that lets us get back a creature from our graveyard to our hand. So let's grab that. Oh, hello, we got our Diligent Excavator back again. So that's none of the other stuff. This doesn't do anything. Nothing. So let's grab this. More Cold Water Snappers. I don't think we probably really want any of these things, but I guess we can cut blue a little bit more. Which is to take cards to discourage other people to take those same cards. Because no, I don't think anyone's really going to want this stuff. So... Actually, I should have taken the Goblin guy, that would have been good. Oh well, never mind. Alright, what do we got for our last pack? So, Lich's Mastery. That looks fun. So, you can't lose the game. Whenever you gain life, draw that many cards. When we lose life for each little... Oh gosh. That seems terrible. Piers would consider playing 5. Alright. Let's leave it in for the moment then. So what have we got going on here? So we've got a card which I don't think we really want to play because it just seems goofy as hell. We've got a red thing that we definitely can't play that lets us create a bunch of throwaway creatures to hit people, which is okay. Dampening Sphere, which doesn't really do anything. Juggernaut. Actually, that's maybe okay. A 4-cost 5/3 that can't be blocked by walls. Yeah. Pooping out creatures. Academy Drake. There we go. We've got a blue thing that's got flying on it. We've also got Eviscerate to kill a creature. Hunter, I'm glad you are. I'm kind of learning from Piers who's in Twitch, and I'm hopefully trying to pass that across to you. Yeah, I mean, Drake is very, very good. Like, you're normally paying 1 mana for each of your power and toughness, and you pay 1 mana to give it flying, but it's also got the ability to come in later on. So rather than paying 3, you pay 7, and then you get a 4/4 flyer, which is not cheap, but you're paying for the flexibility there of it not being a useless card later on. We do want this Arcane Flight, but I suspect that not many other people will. The Relic Runner is, let's see. Yeah, it's okay, but I guess we can pick it up much later. So Arcanist, or I think I like the Academy Drake. I think Dragonaut might go around. I don't. It's. Oh, Hunter, yeah, absolutely. Get a lot of sleep. That's the most important thing when it comes to exams. Just be well rested. I think I do. Well, the Juggernaut has got very good synergy with our other stuff, but Academy Drake I think is going to be. Yeah, it's going to be very good, especially because it works well with our Ancestors Apostle as well. So let's go for that. We're definitely going to end up playing that. Oh, what's this? A first strike, 3 or less creature with... That seems pretty good. But let's consider what else we've got here as well. I think Knight of Grace might actually wheel, just because I don't think many people value it that much. So, what have we got in our colours? We've got Deep Freeze, very good. We've got Academy Drake, also very good. We have got the Kill Anything card, also very good. Man, this pack is crazy for us. What else we've got? We've got a 3/2 flyer. Yeah, kind of forgettable. Oh man. So this thing makes all of our historic stuff easier to cast. Again, it does seem like one of those spells that will kind of go around because nobody who's not playing historic is going to want this card. We've got the Honor Guard. And yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like we can't pass up the ability to kill literally anything. Because that just seems like, you know, I really don't like the idea of taking something which I can then be killed by the thing that I didn't take. So, yeah. As much as it pains me, I think we've got to go for the Blessed Light here. But Knight of Grace, I would be very happy to see basically any of these cards. So, let's go for the Blessed Light. What else have we got? So, generic Trampley thing. Pass and start. Eh. Yes, the Knight is a very good 2-drop, especially if we can enchant him. So, I guess, well, we've got a choice here between Charge, which gives us a bonus to everything, which is kind of blah. Syncopate, which lets us counter something. Or Creator's Wall. You reckon the Aether Glider? Yeah, I suppose it does give us something we can play on turn 3, which at the moment is... I mean, we've got some stuff, but not a lot. Yeah, let's just look, because none of the other stuff is really that great. Is Syncopate not good? I mean, Syncopate, like, feels very strong. Curator's Wood would make a bit more sense if our big turtly boys didn't already have Hexproof. Oh, Hunter Rex against the Glider as well. Alright, well, if both you guys want to go for it, let's go for it. Did it just make a bargling sound at me? Okay, so what have we got going on? We've got Deep Freeze, one of my favourite cards. I think this card is ridiculous. Just, especially considering we're trying to gum up the land as much as possible. I really like it. We've already got a Tragic Poet to be able to potentially get one back as well later on. We've got the Guardians. Again, I feel like the Guardians would be much better if we had... Oh yeah, that's a good idea. So we're going to be looking at our deck view. So we can see here that we've got a rather large... Okay, so yes, we've got a huge amount of 6-cost creatures, but 4 costs we barely have anything. We have a lot of 3-drops, and we have a relatively small amount of 2-drops. But we've probably got enough 1-drops to be getting on with. Yeah, I think 3 turtles is reasonable. So, none of the stuff that we would want. Let's see, so this is... I mean, I wouldn't mind this guy if he actually did anything for us. Yeah, I mean, Poet basically gets back our deep freezes and that's it. I suppose, well, it could potentially get back our Arcane Flight and... what the other one was. Where did it go? I feel like I'm really dumb here. Dub. I mean, it doesn't do nothing. Who has Vigilance on their own? Alright, I'll worry about that in a minute. But yeah, we're a little short on 4s. Unfortunately, none of these guys really fit the 4 drop. Oh yeah, the Voltaic yes, the Voltaic Servant basically gives something Vigilance. Yes. Because it can untap itself, it can attack, though I don't imagine I'll be spending a lot of time attacking with it. But yes, it effectively gives something else Vigilance. Or an artifact Vigilance. I'm kind of leaning towards the Deep Freeze here. Just because none of the other things are super great. You reckon the Voltaic Servant is okay here? But isn't Deep Freeze... I mean, I know we were pretty heavy on 3 drops already. But... I think... when I've played with Deep Freeze before, it's been ridiculous. Like, it just kills anything, whereas this doesn't... Okay, you're playing... Alright, I'm gonna go for Deep Freeze. Because, yeah, it's... that's a draw card. So what do we got? Nothing. Nothing. Big Gorilla, I have heard of the British Esports Association. Some people I know are on it. It's a... I don't know a huge amount about it, but it's an organisation that helps to advance the cause of British esports. I know they're kind of pushing for various different initiatives. And I know... They've definitely got people that I know relatively well on them. So... why do you... Yeah, I think Weight of Memory is too good not to take. Oh, weirdly enough, the esports site is not working. Hey, there we go. That's another Sarah Disciple. Yeah, I think Weight of Memory just seems like it's very, very good. I mean, even if it's just draw 3. So Sarah Disciple, amazing for our deck. Arcane Flight is also really good. Oh man, I didn't expect to see 2 things that are worthwhile. And this is also pretty reasonable, but again, something that people wouldn't want unless they were us. I have to think that it's between Arcane Flight and Sarah Disciple. And I think Sarah Disciple is just too good to not have, but I know that our Cold Water Snapper stuff is entirely dependent on having them enchanted. Yeah, I think it's got to be the Sarah Disciple. Ooh, now that's pretty nice. A search card specifically for our deck. So that's very nice. Yes. Oh, it was at them who wanted to make the esports an Olympic sport. I saw a note about that recently saying that the Olympic Committee were not into it as an idea. But I suspect that that esports will eventually end up at the Olympics, but it just depends on how much money is in it for the Olympics. Let's see. So Trickster would get, yes, would be able to tap something and take its abilities away, which is very good flexibility. Yes, I kind of got a little too caught up in that. So I'll take Servant. It's kind of okay. Nothing. Opt is an extremely nice card. I really like Opt as a card. Tragic Poet, Healing Grace, So, it does seem like some very good utility. I'm trying to think if this is going to work or not. So look at the top 5 cards of your library, reveal a historic card. So, do we actually have enough historic cards for that to be remotely likely? I'm not sure we actually do. Okay, Yeah, let's give Merfolk also Merfolk Trickster. We could do some goofy stuff with it with Tashar. Yeah, I think Board the Weatherlight is probably a little bit optimistic. I think like it would be. I kind of feel like it's somewhat nice if it works, but I think a lot of the time it's not going to work. Oh yeah, okay, Hunter. Thank you for sending me the Discord message about my goofy face cam. Yeah. Oh wow, yeah. All right, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna see if I can back off my. My filters a little bit. Just trying to stop that happening, I don't know. But yeah, okay, so probably let's go for Merfolk Trickster in the interest of time. Hey! A bunch of stuff that we like. I feel like Academy Drake again is probably going to be our best thing. It converts mana cost to 3. It's very, very strong. I mean, it feels like the upside on that is pretty low, like maybe like 6 damage or something in a game. But this, like, it seems like it's so good. All this stuff doesn't matter, but this stuff is alright. Let's take a look at our deck again. We have got so many 3-drops. But, I mean, the Drake is super gross. Yeah, I mean, the short sword certainly would be okay. Well, Sarah Disciple certainly wouldn't mind getting a short sword on it, as for maybe some of our smaller creatures. I guess we could also potentially chuck it on a some of our bigger bodied guys just to make them a little bit bigger. Oh man, it feels very bad though to be going away. Yeah, the Drake feels like it's the right choice. The short sword, like, I feel like the historic stuff we've got going on is kind of an addition to bring up cards that are maybe a little bit subpar under a particular circumstance otherwise. And so to take a card that's pretty much always good and not take it in favour of trying to bring up our bottom end more seems bad. So let's just go for the stupid Drake. Hey, there we go. Arcane Flight. We just got lucky because it's a card that nobody else in the world wants to have. So we could take that, we could take a Relic Runner. So this doesn't do anything for us because we haven't got instances of sorceries in enough numbers. This is kind of okay. The rest of the stuff is irrelevant. So Arcane Flight it is. And hey! There we go. Another Kill Anything card. I don't see any world in which we don't just take the Kill Anything card, so let's do that. What else have we got going on here? So, Curator's Ward, I'm assuming is supposed to be chanted, supposed to be put onto a Saga or something, but it doesn't do a huge amount for us. So, I don't know. I've got no idea which one of these things would be even remotely relevant. I guess this accelerates our late game a little bit. And it's also an artifact. It's also a 3-drop. I don't see charge ever being relevant. I don't see this. I mean, I guess I could put Curator's Ward on something. Yeah, I don't think I'm playing any of them either. I'll get the Curator's Ward in case it's useful in some of the deck. Alright. Okay. And, hey! Finally my crabby friend has come back. Alright, so let's change our deck layer and chuck away everything. Though I suspect we're probably playing quite a lot of that stuff. So, this one's absurd, this one's absurd, this one's absurd. These guys are absurd. Alright, so you've got 2 Kill Anything spells. So that's always good. We've got the very, very broken stuff as well. We've got the thing that gets us land back. So we're off to a pretty decent start. I really like deep freezes, so I'm going to play all of them. Which maybe be a bit carried away, but hey. Let's see. So, Academy Drake's very good. What else we got going on? The thing is, we've got an amazing draft where basically we've just drafted our whole deck. So, yes. Well, so that's something that's worth considering about Deep Freeze, if you guys are ever going to draft it, is that it doesn't stop them. Like, there is a very similar enchantment that means that when they block, they die, but this is not the case here. So, as Piers is saying, we need to have flyers to be able to get over it. So, I think Artificer's Assistant gives us 4 early flyers. Actually, no, 6 early flyers. Combo with our Deep Freeze feels like a very solid. Freezy Burb. Yeah, it is a bit confusing. So that's kind of the core of our deck, brings us up to 32. So now it's a case of we probably want our draw loads of cards just so we win the late game. And so what else have we got? So if we go for our suite of Cold Water Snappers, so it's 3 of them, 2 Arcane Flight, and Dub, that brings us up to 39. Let's see. So if we put in all the stuff that could potentially be good, Glider Wall, Trickster. Yes, the Arcane Flight doesn't do anything for any other creatures at all, which does make me think that maybe that could be something we could afford to go down to 1 of. But alright, so I feel like that's probably everything that we're super worried about. Yeah. So I guess the question becomes, let's see, so this is kind of okay. You reckon cut both flights? I was thinking about... So, at the moment we've got... Let's see, so we've got... Probably... We've got whites we want to play in the early game, because we don't actually want to play... we have 1 blue, 1 white. I feel a little bit weird about taking out the Arcane Flight entirely though, because isn't that like a... Doesn't that remove one of our win conditions? Because we've also got the Halcyon Witness, which we could put it on. That is a potential smack them in the face they die strategy. You reckon we don't need it? Alright. So, is there anything else we need to add to the Freezy Burb deck? We've got Guardians as a potential bounce thing, but again, it doesn't do that much for us. Blood Tallow is alright. Adamant Will is probably the one which I'm most kind of like, I kind of wish we had this in here. For the rest of the stuff, I'm kind of like, eh. Evocative Divine is okay, but I don't think it's going to be do or die for us. Is there anything we could swap out for Adamant Will? Yeah, Darby is pretty nice. The fact that it turns them into a knight doesn't really matter at all. Do we need 3? Do we need 3 Cold Water Snappers if we're not going heavy on the Arcane Flights? Like, I feel like we could potentially go down to just 2 of those if we're just treating them as beat sticks. Looking through, I kind of feel like there's more is more with snappers. I mean, that's true. I'm not saying that they're useless, but just like, I'm not sure we're necessarily seeing the full potential of them without going hard on enchantments and things. As much as I do love a giant turtle, which is devouring very dumb seagulls. You'd imagine with something that big, it would die pretty quickly because of how much food it would need to eat to stay alive. But So you're thinking, Piers, you're thinking more that the cold water snappers are going to be defensive rather than actually ever attacking anybody. I guess that's reasonable. I think I'm going to go for... My gut tells me to go for Adamant Wheel just as that's something to play. Well, because I feel like it combos well with the cold water snappers as well as with Evra if I'm not using the whole exchange life thing. And combos well with this. So I think it just gives us a little bit more we can do. Because I'm just a little bit concerned that the way we lose is to have someone just kind of roll over us and we don't have too much we can directly do about it. I know that we're definitely very heavy on the flying stuff because, yeah, the 6 flyers, and then we've got a flyer later on, and a flyer who makes more flyers. I think I'm going to hold firm just so I can feel like I've done some of this draft myself in Adamant Will, even though I suspect you are almost certainly right, Piers, as it's being unnecessary. I just like the idea of being able to at least convincingly like do something to stop removal and that kind of stuff. You have removal and big blockers. Why is Huntsville going to help more than that? That only stops people rolling if you already have the blocker. But I'm certainly not going to be playing cold water snappers in the early going. Like, let's look at the, because we've already got multiple. These. Well, let's see. So if we look through the size, they kind of curve. So we play most of our creatures. You know, 3, 4, I guess 3, 4, 5, maybe with something to help them. And then we go back to playing creatures once we... So yeah, we kind of play stuff around early game. And we play stuff around late game. I don't know. Like, I think everything you're saying, Piers, I feel like it's correct, but at the same time, I'm gonna go with my gut on this one. Let's see how it goes. Alright, let's go get smashed! Oh, man. Only took us an hour and 20 minutes to get through the draft. Piers, yeah, I might well end up casting the will to do 2 damage. I hope not, but I might. Well, this is a pretty strong opening hand. In fact, yeah, wow, fantastic. So we've got 2 creatures which are both very good that we can cast. We draw 1 more mana. And our wall is up, we draw 2 mana, and our Blessed Light is up. Yeah, I think we've got a, like, well, given, I think, to be fair, Piers, I think you basically drafted this deck for me. But, yeah, it's, I think I wouldn't have realised this deck even existed if you hadn't been, so I think this is fine. I think we've got a good shot at getting the, getting 7 wins here, because our deck is... It's basically a constructed deck, which is a very good start. So what have they got? They have got token generation, so... I think I kind of feel like maybe we should... I don't think this is going to do anything, so I'm going to hold off on playing any blue land as long as I can, just to hold back a little bit of information. Oh, Piers, you tried for this deck as well? Yeah, I think we got very lucky. I think you're right that taking away all of the blue was a good way to at least trick the AI into not taking any blue itself. Okay, so this deck is poop out creatures, the deck. Which is fine. We've got this defender, which doesn't actually stop... Yeah, it's not actually amazing at dealing with that. But oh, that's true. Yes, I forgot that Merfolk Trickster. So Merfolk Trickster having double blue means that that is a problem. So yeah, so Sergeant at Arms could have been kicked, but it wasn't. Yeah, it should. Hey, that's the one we passed up on. Well, that's annoying. So either we don't attack them, or we pay 2 for it. We probably need to get rid of this guy. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to Blessed Light him on the next turn when we can afford it. And for now, I think we throw down this one, because I'm not really worried about them attacking at this point. And I'm not going to attack with my creatures, so they'll function as blockers. Block plus will. Yeah, I mean block. Yes, block plus adamant will is going to kill pretty much anything. Yes, I would prefer to be able to get out Tesh as at the same time I could get something back with it, but at the moment there's nothing to really warrant that anyway. So do I block something here? I'm not honestly particularly worried about this, and I could only do it by losing Tesha, so no. Oh wait, I should have. Right, so that makes life a little bit harder. But if I paid 3 to attack, I could then adamant will his. Yeah, I think I need to get going. So let's. So I pay 3, I can attack with everything, and then I can kill with adamant will anything. Yeah, that even sentry is a little bit annoying. Okay. Oh wait, did he block him? No. Maybe I made a mistake there. Let's see, so they have got a lot more on the board than I do, so maybe this was a horrible mistake. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm just getting a little bit too distracted. Let's see, so if we just kill Baird, we're going to be taking, what, 6 damage a turn? No, 7 damage. The temptation here is to play a Cloud Reader Sphinx to just get in the way of stuff. But I feel like this is a race that we're quite likely to lose if we start getting into. I feel like maybe if we just held up and went for Sphinx can't blocks. I'm thinking that maybe we could just throw out the Sphinx and maybe just set ourselves up better for a future turn. I don't think we're in a very groovy position at the moment. It's a bit awkward that we're... Okay, actually, no, I'm going to do something else. So, I'm going to try to use our Adamant Will to kill something. I'm not liking the looks of things at the moment. It's getting a... I feel like we've maybe miscalculated a little bit in terms of trying to get into a slap-and battle with this person who's... I know I can't kill anything in the wall, but I can at least get in the way or something. I mean, admittedly, this is going to be the worst deck for it because it doesn't do anything. Are you aware that the bear doesn't mean that I have to pay to block right here? It's just for attacking. Because you keep talking like I have to pay mana to block. Well, the Gotham's not do anything. So let's see if we can build up our board a little bit. I think we have slightly less. Oh, interesting. I wonder what kind of instant they might have there. So something you can do in Magic is, because it's only pauses when you've actually got something to play, you can sort of tell what someone else has got by when it pauses. Oh, both of those seem pretty strong. I think we probably want Deep Freeze first. Even though it doesn't mean we lose our honor. Yes, the Deep Freeze turning up ability seems pretty strong. So we haven't got enough for our Unbreakable Will, but we do have much stronger creatures, and we're not devastated if our Cloud Reader goes down. Yeah. Yeah, if I think once the Deep Freeze comes in to turn off the bed, then we can start getting pretty aggro. Hey man, if we could turn off the Defender on Amaranthine Wall, we could use Pegasus Courser to whack him with it. We just need that, we need that legendary that turns walls into punching power. Let's see, so... We've only got... we don't even have a graveyard yet, so you can probably afford to start tossing in some cheap stuff. And if it gets nailed, we can get back Disciple. Oh, hello. Well, this is where we're glad we have a butt ton of removal, because we're going to be using it. So... we have got, what, 6 mana total? So we can only really cast one of these things per go. Ace Thea Glide is actually very good against the Aven Sentry. So I think... yeah, I think we probably just... take this guy out. So there we go, we don't have to worry about that stupid ability anymore. And yeah, I don't think we need to do anything this turn. I'd like to have the ability to play this card. So... we could go for an attack this time round, but... he's got... yeah... we'll hold off for the moment because then we can take out the Sarah Angel as well and then have complete Sky dominance, which we expected to have, but somehow we have ended up in a situation where we do not have it. But I'd like to get this glider out if we can and start clobbering stuff with it because it's a very good answer into his 3-2 flyer. And also, we can use this to get it back every time over and over again, which is a nice thing to be able to have. Man, Sarah Disciple, if only you were a 2-2, you could start punching Sarah Angels. Alrighty. The blue-white mirror is miserable because both decks are dependent on the opponent not having as many flyers. Yes. Well, to be fair, I think we're in a good spot here in that at least we can deal with what they've got on the board at the moment. We don't have a huge amount else to play with, but at least we've got better flyers than they do once we take account of our... Ah, Pants, this guy's legendary, isn't he? Great. Well, not going to be seeing the end of them for a while. Yeah, I mean, if we spend a lot of time sitting around, and we're not too upset about it either. Alright, well, a whole lot of nothing happened there. So, we could start wanging into them. But... let's see, so... If we take out the Sarah Angel here, I think his Bard guy is going to be less and less relevant as the game goes on. So this will get back, anything? No, there's nothing to get back. Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah, I'm going to go in with my Sarah Disciple because why not? Worst can happen is he gets killed. Well, like, you know, so he can either take out the Sarah Angel because he's got no mana open. I think pre-combat makes more sense because now Sarah's in a position where he can kill us, the other Sarah. Nope, nothing. Cool. I like it. Anything that puts us a little bit closer to winning is good with me. And I'm guessing the opponent has red, or at least we are representing pretty well that we've got Adamant Will or some kind of pump spell. So they're not even bothering to try and block us. We haven't got enough for Blessed Light, which is kind of, it's okay. But maybe... well, I don't know if they bother playing the Bard thing anymore just because I don't feel like it's doing that much. Are we going to start seeing them popping their lands for 1/1s? Nope, okay. Cheers, Hunter. Thanks for dropping by the stream. Hopefully you able to understand at least some of what was going on, because it's not the easiest thing in the world. You are right, Piers. Yes, I can represent it if I've got the, I have the will to do so. Deep Freeze? Why? It's my favourite card. Alright, well, I mean, I guess I could Deep Freeze. I kind of feel like I should Deep Freeze to Sarah Angel because I'm going to have enough mana now to more or less just play wherever I want. Hunter, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm going to try and do a bit more streaming of it. I find it a little intimidating because I know I'm not the most knowledgeable and it's basically playing a game which you don't really understand in front of a big group of people. But yeah, I feel like Deep Freeze on the Sarah Angel seems pretty good. And we can still afford... Yeah, because all this stuff is quite cheap. So... Doink. 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 There you go. Angel is no longer so impressive. Okay, I think we're going to start going in with more things now. I feel like we can potentially race this person. And we're pretty happy if, let's see, so if we're going in for 5 every turn, they're going in for 3, we're definitely winning that race. Especially because we can just potentially... Well, we can, that's the thing, like, as long as we've got the mana up, we can throw a Sarah Disciple in front of there. Oh my gosh, I really hope this game... Okay, so, Piers, as much as you are going to say that the Adamant Will is going to be used for just 2 damage here, which it might, it very well might. Even if it does, I still maintain the fact that it made me fake out, fake the fact that I had Adamant Will. Even though I did have Adamant Will, you're right, I could have not had it just as easily. And it would have looked exactly the same from the opponent's side. The fact that it made me fake it is worthwhile. Yeah, I mean, it might make us win 1 turn earlier. And I'm probably just going to learn what's in the set so I can do this same situation where I don't have Adamant Will in hand, and I just want to be able to make out that I do. So, there we go. They do absolutely nothing, and I presume that this just means we're going to win. Because we've got 2 kill anything cards. Gosh, that's so stupid. Alright, well, let's just keep doing that. I mean, I kind of want to fling the wall at them, even though it can't actually attack, but it'll be funny. Well, if it worked well once, yeah, I mean, yeah, it looks, the art makes it look like a crap card, but it's actually amazing. Admittedly, we haven't got too much in the way of historic stuff, but that's probably because everything's refusing to die. So that's a interesting situation to be in. So let's just keep doing what we have been doing. Yes, so the Amaranthine Wall. Ooh! I'm into it. Now the question is, do we Adamant Will or do we Blessed Light? I feel like we're probably going to have less opportunities to use the Adamant Will for anything. So there we go. Yeah, I'm going to use the Will just because otherwise we're never going to get to use it for anything. I'm hoping he's going to block the... There we go! Oh, actually... Well, I kind of... Yeah, I'll use the Will. I kind of didn't want to use the Will there, just because it's easier for us to represent that we have it up and available than it is for the Blessed Light, but I guess they don't even realise we have that as of yet. Oh, that feels good. Oof. Okay. We could be... Oh, it appears you're thinking about the potential for us to be... had too much mana taken up us. Alright, so I think given the fact that our opponent's probably going to be mad about what just happened, I think this might be the point where they start going after us. Because we just spent out our cheap spell, and I suspect they wouldn't expect us to have more of that same spell. If they are being a reasonable human being. We don't actually even have that much life left. So our wall... If they go after us, our Courser blocks their Sergeant, Wall blocks that, Steward, Haven. Alright then. I don't feel super terrible about that because it was already tapped, so it's not going to make us any more likely to be dead. Ooh. That's the thing that makes wizards worthwhile. Fortunately, none of these are wizards, but it's still another clock for us to be on. So our big question here now becomes, What do we blow up with our blessed lights? Yeah, well, I mean, this actually means that he's less likely to attack with Baird. Oh no, it doesn't actually, because he's got vigilance. Never mind. So, wait, what? Okay, I guess he wasn't planning on attacking. Oh, that's right. I didn't realise that actually applied that way. He's just realised that's the case. And now he's going to do the same thing. I did not realise you could do it that way. I might be tempted to get rid of that with one of the Blessed Lights, because that's pretty annoying. Yes. Yeah, that's interesting. I guess that makes sense because the Wizard's deck is kind of like based on a bunch of small creatures. So if you've got a bunch of mana with nothing left to do with it, then you can. If you're using this with Wizards, that's pretty worthwhile, especially if you've got nothing else to do. Yeah, the equip cost is pretty expensive. It's time to dab. So, yeah, 2 damage per equip in a wizard deck seems like that's pretty strong. Let's see. So, if he's only blocking one thing, he's got 8 life left. We are representing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got lethal if he doesn't block. Oh wait, did we just kill him? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've got 7 mana, and we're 1 short on the mana to be able to kill him. Alright. Oh man, I'm not sure what to do here. Okay. Alright. Okay, so let's get him into killable range. And leave ourselves with enough blockers to be able to do stuff. Oh wait, I can't do that. Ah, pants, we just screwed ourselves up really badly because we were indecisive. Well, if that costs us the game, then I'm going to feel real bad about it. Also, I wasn't really clear where the timer was on the... Where is the timer? That's showing how many timeouts we had, but I didn't see how much timer we had. Was it up here and I just missed it? Alright, well, at least we've got lots of blockers! Yeah. It's weird, I suddenly felt the pressure really sharply. I was expecting to see... Because when I started using timeouts, I was like, wait, where is the indicator of how much time I have left? And I don't have any. Okay. Well, I think we're still alright, because if they don't kill us immediately, we're just going to dab on them, and then we'll win. So... Does Merfolk Trickster stop the wand from going off, or is that just a convenience they've got it on the card? So we can attack with 2 creatures, let's do that. Okay, I'm not actually that worried about that specifically. So we're in killing range for next turn. So what we could do is we could just use the Merfolk Trickster to nail out his biggest creature. How do I do that? Okay, yeah. So I think that's what I'm going to do before he gets to combat. Is I'm just going to take out his biggest guy to make it the least likely situation that he can do anything to us. Boop, boop. Oh, that's right, that's going to get him life back as well, isn't it? Okay. He's going to get most of that life back anyway. Because he will have the, because of the Sorcerer's Wand. Is that... Oh wait, I've realised that I didn't press resolve. I should be. So I'm going to do it this way. Oh, for God's sake. Well, that's very, very annoying. Which could mean that we lose. Which will really suck. I kind of feel like if they've got any sort of pump spell at all, we're going to die. So let's just grab that. I wasn't sure about the magic mechanics at play to be able to actually stop attacks. I thought if they declare an attack, aren't they already tapping by game mechanics? I can't... I just... What it was is I didn't realise it was asking me to resolve the effect. And so I ended up getting kind of screwed over pretty hard. Oh! Yep, I lose. Well, that sucks. Oh man. Oh man. Well, literally lost to indecision. With a deck in a game which I'm pretty sure we should have won. Man. Well, I'm going to take this as an opportunity to firstly learn what the turn timer looks like, and secondly just to... The problem is when I'm kind of like... as a personal kind of problem, like, I have a thing where if I'm taking advice from other people, I tend to turn my brain off, which would make me excellent in the military, I'm sure, but it means that I struggle to kind of like to find the middle ground where I'm taking advice from other people, but I'm also engaging my own brain. So I think I struggled on that one because I kind of like was just sort of outsourcing my decision making quite a lot. Alright, well, this is okay. No, it's fine. I know, Piers, I really appreciate your help. Like, it's not because it's inappropriate, it's just because I'm having to learn how that works. Like, as a streamer, is figuring out how do I interact meaningfully and kind of, and not just ignore what people are saying, but like to take it on board without also turning my own brain off, which is, it's definitely not going to be a permanent thing, but it's going to be something which I've got to try and figure out how I'm going to do myself. Oh. Hey, there we go. I was waiting for when that guy would turn up. That cold water snapper would have been extremely useful to have in the last game. Well, got nothing to play. Oh, there we go. More flyers. Excellent. Well, hopefully we won't be in the same situation we were in before. Alright, well, let's smack it in. Don't really need the wall loss yet. Don't really need that. So, let's get out our burbs and Academy. Drake is just a burb with scales. And if dinosaurs evolved... Okay, fine. Don't worry, friend, Yui. We've got more. Oh. Well, in that case... So we could deep freeze it. Oh yeah, no, 3 colours. Spicy. I think we're probably going to need to deep freeze it, yeah. Because we're going to have to do that eventually. We've got a couple of them. In fact, we've got 3 of them! I've never ever been in a game where I felt bad to have another deep freeze. Destroy target equipment, huh? And good for kicking. So, could get a snapper. Could get Evra. We don't have any way to protect Evra if stuff goes a bit wonky. But yeah, it's possible that the person doesn't know that mechanic, because I so as heck did not. And as a bonus, these guys don't have reach, do they? No. Well, it's nice that they don't have enough on the board to be able to deal with Evra, even if I just swing in for it and, like, smack a creature. Yeah. Definitely looking for the opening. So, because we dropped the enchantment flying stuff, we have less options for getting Evra in for a kill shot, but I do think it's a pretty janky way to win at the best of times. So I'm not super upset to not have that option, not have the option to coin flip the game. Also, Evra's effect is a little bit expensive at this point. Because I got green, I'm expecting pump spells. Hey, there we go. Sorted. Well, Evra becomes a very attractive statue. Alright, well we can start scrying, which I'm a fan of. Don't really need any mana, well, at least any more white mana at the moment. That's probably the first time that's ever happened. Jeez. Alright, we don't have quite enough to pay for this yet, but even though the thing is they've got no threats on the ground, so I kind of want to just start flinging more through the air just to get the game done faster, even though it seems like a better general play. Actually, I suppose the Cold Water Snapper can start threatening on the ground as well. So yeah, let's go for that. It gives us a bit more flexibility, because it's big enough to get over the spider as well. Yeah. I think I'd normally want to go for the Academy Drake, but man, yeah, this game's going so much better. Yeah, I'd really like to be able to kick at the Drake, and not going to happen this time. Oh man, is it worth holding off on the Drake? Because it's a lot better as a 4-4 than it is as a 2-2. But it doesn't mean basically skipping this turn. Yeah, I think we could have won the last one if it had just been another one ball. Yeah. Well, there's no reason not to attack with everything. Oh, yeah, at least we get rid of the Mammoth Spider. I'm going to feel like a dummy if... Well, to be fair, the Adamant Wheel kind of stands in for the kicker cost, so I'm going to do that. It doesn't feel good, but I find that most of the time, I feel like the correct play is oftentimes the one that feels the worst. Okay. Well, now I wish I'd held off on it, but I don't know. I wasn't expecting them to have another Mammoth Spider. Then maybe I should have. So, well, I could use my Cold Water Sapper to get rid of Mammoth Spider. That seems pretty reasonable. Let's do that. Well, I mean, that felt like a little bit of a missed turn for us, but... Wait, that was a sorcery. I thought it was... I don't know why I thought that was an instant, but that was really dumb. Yeah, that was my brain fart there. Okay, let's try and do it this time. Wait. I almost misplayed this card. Target player puts 3 cards in the library in the graveyard. Yeah. Well, too late for that, Piers. Why couldn't you just be here in real time? Gosh. Alright, yeah, this does leave us in a situation where we can't really do anything this time, which is a bit rubbish. So, because he could block with his 2 creatures to kill my Snapper. I use Will to kill a Snapper. Kill a Snapper, to get a Snapper to kill a Mammoth Spider. Gosh, Piers. Just like having my dad over my shoulder. What are you doing, son? Why did you do this thing? I mean, you could be right. Jeez, why does this guy have so many of these freaking spiders? Alright, so let's start making stuff that's big enough to actually do something. Actually, wait, let's slow down a little bit. So we could dub something, but nothing's really big enough. But I guess we could... I think Clarida Sphinx seems like a reasonable way to start. Yeah, it would have been better to draw land, wouldn't it? I forgot the Surveyor actually put it in your hand. I don't, honestly though, I wasn't really sure what the Surveyor did if it didn't do that. Oh man, I'm getting thrown off here, man. Yeah, my... Okay. Let's calm down a bit. So yes, if I don't draw land next turn, let's try and get it more centered. Okay, so we've got a pretty good gumming up. So we're not going to need more land. Right. So let's see. So I feel like probably dubbing our Cloud Reader Sphinx is the way to go, because then in the following turn we can attack in with it, get blocked by both Mammoth Spiders, and then Blessed Light away one to kill the other one. We could potentially just deep... I feel like maybe a less complicated version of that same thing is just to deep freeze one of the spiders. But... that would leave us... So we've got 5 mana. So no play we've got is going to leave us open for that. Oh, see, there's the turn thing. I maybe just didn't see it before, I don't know. I don't know. This is probably like the worst possible line of play. Yeah, this lets us do nothing, does it? Never mind. Alright, well we've got 3 forms of removal, so we're in a pretty good spot. You say there isn't a bad line available, I think I might have found it, which is to do nothing. But yeah, I think, I don't mind this idea of using the Sphinx to draw out the, both spiders at once. I think that's a reasonably good idea, because he's never going to block otherwise. Oh, excellent. Well, at least we get to know whether or not this is something that's worth Blessed Lighting. But yeah, man, that Surveyor was really nice. Okay, well, that's a fairly irrelevant creature. Oh, gosh! Jeez! Well, thank you very much, opponent, for showing us exactly what we needed to remove in the following turn. Yep. Alright, well... So we now have... So our potential players use up, what, sort of 8 mana, and we have 9 mana? I'm not sure what the difference is between freezing it and lighting it here. Oh, that's true, yeah. Well... Nah, I understand the idea, but I'm gonna freeze it because I'm gonna go for this play from the previous turn, which is the Spider Eradication Protocol. There we go. Very obliging of them. But Piers, I would point out that the sheer styling of that play was enough to make them concede immediately. Yeah, let's see. So what you're saying. Oh, I see. Yes. Yeah. No, I get what you mean. If they took away the freezing aura on the god, yeah, you're right. The risk of leaving the god alive was pretty bad. Phew. So yes, that went a lot better than the previous game. I think I'm still adjusting to using my brain right, but yeah, the worst. I think where the disconnect comes between us, Piers, is that it's because you're thinking on so much a higher level. Whenever I try and like get up to that high level, I'm kind of starved for oxygen, so I'm like, this does not seem like a very good hand. It seems like one of the few bad hands we could have. I don't see there's any way we can keep this. We can't play anything forever. There's a good chance, yeah. Alright, I mean, that's not the best. It's also not the worst. I guess it's a usable hand. Again, we don't cast anything, but at least we've got the chance of drawing something and casting it. I don't think it's bad enough to mulligan away. Especially with our scry that we might turn up. Let's give it a try. Yeah, there we go. Excellent. Well, it's gone from being kind of okay to pretty reasonable. We've got turn 2, turn 3, and then hopefully we'll draw something. Gosh, I love that scry mechanic. I hope one day Wizards put in the whole use any card as a land mechanic. Just in general. I just feel like it would make the game a lot less swingy. Hexproof from white? Ugh. Well... this lets us play something if we freeze it. I can't remember what I said, which will literally never happen. But yeah, I think this is too annoying to let live. And otherwise we do nothing this turn, so... Yep. Even though we paid for it with blue mana. Now it's just an attractive hood ornament. A human knight wall. Oh, they play any card as a land. Yeah, I don't know. It worked pretty well for the Warcraft trading card game, which is what Hearthstone is based on. So, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I know it probably will never happen, but still, I hope it will at some point. Even though I know it won't. Doesn't mean I can't hope for things which will never happen. We could deep freeze it, but I think we need to start getting our creatures out. And also this lets us get in for 2 in the air, which I definitely didn't forget about. I think Mana Screw is an awful thing. I literally think it's a game design flaw. Nice, nice. So we're doing, if we keep drawing land at this point, or if we draw a Skittering Surveyor, which is the same thing, then we're getting towards being able to tie up the ground with our big old turtle bro. Could choose to block it, but I don't think so. Well, I mean, we're winning this race. In theory, we could deep freeze his Journey Mage just to be a Dirk. Is there a world in which deep freezing a 3-2 which does nothing is a good play? If I'm trying to win a race. What do you reckon, Piers? Well, that's we'll attack with everything first, at least. Yeah, I think it's going to be something much, much better coming down next turn. And also that the Cold Water Snapper, yeah, makes it completely irrelevant as soon as I get another mana. And the fact that they're playing stuff that gets them more land suggests either they're going to go for... Okay. Ugh. Gosh, I hope I get a land next draw, which isn't something I say too often. Okay, well I definitely can't win that race anymore. Yeah, that's a very weird combination. So Apostle can stand there to... You reckon, yeah, kill a 3-2? Alright, yeah. Yeah, I'm in the same boat with you now. So I might as well attack with the Sarah Disciple and hold back the Apostle to draw out the removal. Yeah, that deck is weird as hell. But at least I can kill one thing. Or at least, no, not kill one thing, but get killed by one thing. Again, if we get one more mana, we're in a really, really good place. Oof, we need... Okay. He's got one red open? I don't know. I'm willing to soak a removal spell. Or not? It's almost the same thing as a well, this Sarah Disciple... I get into a very, very bad spot if they kill off the Sarah. You reckon attack with it or lose it? Won't the Surveyor protect the Protector? Yeah, I suppose it's... At least this puts us in a good spot where their creatures are all fairly rubbish. Wait, all viable blockers have to block it? Surely that's not true. Well, that sucks. That's exactly the situation in which that card's amazing. I think you are wrong, sir. Like, that's a very different effect to say must be blocked by all available. It just says must be blocked. That Skin Witch has really messed us up. We went from being almost guaranteed to win to being almost guaranteed to lose. Maybe we draw something really good next turn. But man, our two different answers that were both the perfect card. Well, that's what you play the Skin Witch for. Ooh, there's a big creature. That's bad news. I mean, I kind of feel like we were just dead anyway. Right, so they've got... So if we block... Let's see, so they come in with 3/3 trample, man. I think we're just boned. Cheers, Piers. Thank you for your advice. I'll attempt to do better with your baby in the future, and hope they just for some reason don't attack with anything. Man, that's a decent vampire. Very decent vampire. Well, time to die. Man, if only I had a turtle right now. Instead, I just get to be dead. Lisai. Man. Alright, so we have this amazing deck that is getting absolutely creamed. Alright, so one last chance to not be rubbish. I think, well, let's see. So going through the last game, I don't think there was anything we could have done differently, really, because we were kind of stuck with the cards that we had. We didn't have a no, we had a reasonable opening start with the Scry. I don't think we could have played it any differently, though, because of the way the draws went out. Okay. Well, oh boy, this is quite tempting. Because all of our hand bar one is playable if we get one. Yeah, we're going to risk it. I know it's a classic thing to keep a 2-land hand, but come on, it's 2-land with nearly the entirety of the hand playable. I think we'll probably be alright. Namakubi! You shall be our final gateway before we either arise a knight or fall down in flames. Oh boy. Magic deck. Let's see, so we get 1, 2, 3 draws to try and find a land. We found a land! That meant everything we did was absolutely right forever. Marvellous. Tweety Bird, do your Tweety Bird things. We also dub the Disciple if we're feeling particularly frisky. I think they might have a kill a creature thing because they are pausing on their past stuff. So I maybe don't want to be doing something weird like that. What could they have for 2 mana? What's this? It's my Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's National Championship pen. Why, thank you for asking. Alright, let's... I don't think we're going to dub this guy. Not while they've got mana left open and they're being a bit suspicious about it. Especially because it seems like it's a good chance to get nailed without really... the upside being not particularly good. Alright, Pegasus Corsair. I might actually even try and make this particular deck. Maybe. It's sort of semi-interesting. I think there's a lot of potential for it to be a very interesting deck with the right component parts like sagas and things. We'll have to see if we have anything remotely kind of plays into that. Or not! Well, don't worry, gentle friend. We've got our get out of jail free card called the Skittering Surveyor. Let's have ourselves a land, and let's make it a plains. Successfully got away with murder. Whew. Yeah, I think it maybe was a little bit... oh man, this person has got a terrible hand. I'm into it. think we might have a lot of long turns from our opponent. Well, I guess this is our reward, such as it is for our otherwise pretty blah stuff. Alright, well, let's give this dub thing a try and see if we can at least draw out some removal. They definitely got something. Maybe it would have been better to play the Academy Drake, actually. Alright, we got away with it, for now. A 3-3... Oh, it's not Vigilant! I would have expected it to be Vigilant as well. We're not... Because we went for this for the more than slightly janky hand, we haven't got as much of an advantage off of this as I maybe would have otherwise expected. But... yeah. I remember passing this card up a few times. It just seems like it's a bit too expensive for what it does. I get the impression that in a deck that involves graveyard specific stuff, it's a lot more worthwhile. Alright, there we go, they're gone. Well, at least we got 2 wins! Okie doke. This isn't so good. Nothing. I think we're gonna mulligan. Just because none of this stuff really does anything for most of the game. Okay, that seems more reasonable. I don't think we want that. At least early on. Well, I say at least early on, as in we're never going to see that in the whole game. But at least this way we've got stuff we can play. I think it would have ended up sitting in our hand for a very, very long time. Oh good, it's a rush deck. That's my favourite kind of deck. Oh well, at least Folk Trickster is a pretty reasonable answer to killing off a Lava Runner, if nothing else. The Trickster will be able to strip away the 1 extra attack because of cancelling out this guy's abilities, in case there's any shenanigans. Okay. Alright, we'll see if there's anything to Trickster this time round. Or if they do something weird like that again. Playing spells directly for damage. I think definitely going to deep freeze that guy. I think very soon we're not going to have to care about this guy at all, so I don't think it's worth using up our Trickster on him. There you go. Goodbye, friend. So we're probably not going to be playing this one out for a while. Guessing we're gonna still get hit in the face a few more times. Ugh. That is real unfortunate. Okay. So I feel like we need to get something out to start trying to do stuff. I would like to. Okay, this isn't gonna be great, whatever happens. We're taking 4, if not 8, to the face. Ooh. We need another freezy boy. Another deep freeze would be marvellous. That thing is too big for me. Even if I got my big wall out, that's still going to potentially get past it once. Alright then. Doesn't get anything. Man, I'm probably going to get beaten up by someone who's very, very bad. Oh well. What can you do, huh? Let's see, so I've got 5. Alright, I'm gonna start trying to do something in this game. How do I... Okay. Well, that stops me from dying. Wow, this has been a weird old game. So there's a 1 in like 8 chance I just immediately die, and there's a pretty... Do I blow? Was that kicked or not? Oh, so it's about 5. So yes, it was kicked. Okay. Ugh. Well, this sucks. This sucks a lot. Man, even with my incredibly awful blocks. I mean, I guess it could be worse. I could just be dead now instead of dead this time. Man. Well, who am I to fault my opponent's play when that is it's a win. I do like this guy. I think he looks kind of cool. Balduck. C'est la vie. Well, that'll be it for our run. I feel like this should have probably been a 7-win deck, but it wasn't. And, yeah, there we go. Well, at least we got some cards which could ultimately make a pretty decent deck. Let's see what we get in our pack. Ooh. Now that's a card that could work pretty well in that deck. Instant sorcery. And nice. I don't know if that's specifically intended for that deck, but I'm into it. Alright guys, so thank you so much for watching. And I'm gonna go be a little sad about that, but I guess ultimately we ended up with the bones of a pretty good deck as a result of it. Oh man, we didn't even get through cast white or black spells. I suppose we got most of the way through it. But yeah, well, I hope you guys found that illuminating in some fashion. How long has it been? 2.5 hours? Boy, it didn't feel like that long. I'm continuing on my journey to try and be able to take advice while at the same time not turning my brain off entirely. Which is weird. It doesn't really come up in that many other contexts. I will have to try and sort out my backdrop stuff because that's not... I think maybe it is because I'm not lit up as well as I should be. I think I'll have to invest in some good lighting. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to try and do... We've nearly got enough for another run. See, it's like 750, so we got a decent amount out of that last one. I think if I leave it a few days to get some more stuff, more of these in, then I think I'll be in an alright spot. Alright guys, well thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you another time.